Guess how long it took me to take out this tire insert? You might have heard the horror stories of installing these. Let me tell you about getting them out. Keep watching and I'll show you how I did it without cutting the tire. Right now that tire insert's sleeping away nicely in that tire, but not for long. First, we got to get that tire off. Now the fun begins. The tire insert keeps the bead of the tire tight up against the rim, which makes it extremely difficult to get off. You can see there's not much space there. Of course I'm going to use the Pedro's tire levers. They're the toughest ones out there, so that was my first thought. I was able to get one tire lever in underneath the tire, well, against the sidewall, not really underneath the tire yet. And that only took me about 5 minutes. Then I worked my way around the rim, freeing the tire bead from the rim. I flipped the tire over and did the same thing on the other side. The next challenge is getting the tire over the rim. I thought I was pretty smart by using these spring clamps. At this point, I'd already ditched the Pedro's tire lever because it was too wide. The spring clamps actually do help hold the tire in place so you can get a tire lever underneath it. But this is where the fun really begins. I worked my way around the tire until the tire lever was underneath the tire bead. Now all I have to do is work the tire bead off of the rim all the way around. Should be pretty easy, right? So after about 15 minutes of this, I thought I'd get a little smarter. I got out the glass cleaner because it's helped me before to get stubborn tires on and off of the rim. This is a technique I've used to get stubborn tires off as well. Usually once I have a tire lever underneath the tire bead, I'm able to slowly force it around. Guess what? It didn't work. After 15 minutes of trying that, the skin on my hands was starting to come off, so I had to put some gloves on. So after another 10 minutes of dealing with that, I decided to go get some soapy water because the Windex wasn't cutting it. This is when I had a breakthrough. I got two tire levers underneath the bead and I was able to put something in between them and pinch them together that forced them apart. When I did that, it started to separate the bead. This is a good trick worth knowing if you're trying to get the tire insert out of a tire and save the tire. Really, when you're doing this, you need to think in terms of millimeters. Don't go in there trying to force the entire tire off or you're just going to break tire levers or damage your rim. But just think about trying to move the tire off a millimeter at a time and you'll start to see success. What I did was kept it soaped up. And watch where the tire levers are on the Maxxis logo. You can see that I start to make slow progress, just wiggling them back and forth and pinching the tire, moving it around. Just think little by little and you can get it off. After about 25 minutes and I've got about 4 inches of tire over the rim at this point, I finally had some success after soaping it up over and over. Keep in mind I was about 45 minutes in here at trying to get this tire off the rim. This was time for celebration. But I still had to get the other side off. You can see why this tire was so hard to get off. There was a lot of dried sealant around the rim and the tire bead. To get the other side off, I used my pinch technique that I'd invented. Got two tire levers underneath the bead, put one in between and pinched them together. The other side was a lot easier to get off. Now it was time for a true celebration. If you like how-to videos on outdoor gear, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you found this tip helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up so others can find it. If you're shopping for outdoor gear, be sure to check out GearChase.com, where we search hundreds of different online retailers for the best deals. Ooh. Look at that booger.